This is Danish Muzaffar. I'm a student of political science and geography. Keeping present situation COVID-19 in mind, I thought as a student of political science, I should contribute for the students of class 12th having political science as one subject. So, not wasting our time, let's move towards the first topic of my first video. That's Cold War. So, dear students, you must be aware that Cold War, which remained for 45 years, it was started in 1945 and was ended on December 25 in 1991 when the Soviet flag flew on the Kremlin in Moscow for the last time. So in this video we will study here are some subtopics that we are going to study in this video. First we will study the background of the Cold War, then meaning, and then the emergence of two power blocks, which is USA and USR. So you don't have to worry, it's quite easy. You just have to pay concentration. So let's start. Why I started with the background, because I believe that if we study a concept, if we study the background of a concept first, then the whole concept becomes like a story. And it has a lot of advantages, and the first advantage is that you will hardly forget that very concept. So I will say that the World War Second, Cold War, it was highly, or you can say it was directly linked or connected with the World War Second. So you must be aware that World War Second, which was started in 1939 and was ended in 1945. So World War Second, there were two super power blocks. One was known as Axis powers, and the another was known as Allied powers. So it was a war in which Axis powers got defeated, and Allied powers, which was USA, comprising USA, USR, Britain, and France, they won the war. Study some points about this World War Second. So initially, when USA, USR, I mean Allied powers, they were fighting against Germany, Italy. So they defeated Germany and Italy, and there was Japan, which was still fighting. So these aligned powers made a plan that they will collectively attack or Japan, but USA, which was a part of Allied powers, USA dropped deliberately two atom bombs over the two cities of Japan, which was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and USA justified herself that USA dropped atom bombs to protect the further loss of lives of USA and allied powers. Japan was about to surrender. I have noted down a point here that Japan was about to surrender, but USA sorry, I have here's it deliberately. USA deliberately dropped atom bombs on the grounds of Japan, so that to prove USA is supreme than USR. So it is clear here that why USA dropped atom bombs over Japan, and there was a single reason, and that was to show USA is more supreme. USA is more supreme than USR, and this is considered dropping of these atom bombs without granting permission from USR, Britain, France, as they were also the parts of allied powers, and this is considered as a important reason. This is considered as the important cause for the emergence of Cold War. Now let's move towards the Cold War. What is Cold War? The term Cold War, it was coined by Bernard Burt in 1947, and it was popularized by an American journalist, or we can say a writer. It's Walter Lippmann, not sorry, here I wrote Walter, but it's Walter Lippmann in his book The Cold War in 1947. you know if you will study the books, you will find this sentence everywhere, this definition everywhere, that Cold War is a state of tension. So exactly, the state of tension between two big superpowers. One was USA and another was USR, simply United States of America and Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, which is presently Russia. So which emerged immediately after the end of World War II. So I have studied this thing in the background, that Cold War, it's directly linked with the World War II. So that's why I wrote here that it was immediately started after the end of World War II. So you can also say that about the Cold War. that it is a strained relation, or you can say it's a worsened relation between USA and USR, which lasts till 1990. So as the word here cold means, so it was not it never got converted into a hot war, so it remained cold. It was a state of tension between these two states. So you can also say that it was a war in which no blood was fired, because it was not fought in the battlefield, in which it was a war in which there was no bloodshed, but the tension between the two countries was very high. So as I told earlier that it was a war which was not played in the battlefield, but it was played in the minds of men. So you have to remember another point here, and that is it was a propaganda war. So what's propaganda war? It's simply it was a propaganda war in which both the power blocks, whether USA or USR, both the power blocks tried to create a bad image of each other in the eyes of other states. So you can say it was a propaganda war. And another point I have quoted here is it was an ideological war. Yeah, it was an ideological war. It was an ideological war between two different ideologies. One was capitalism and another was socialism. So capitalism was highly supported by USA, or we can say liberalism, and the socialism, it was greatly supported by USR. And during the time of Cold War, both the countries tried to spread their ideologies, and that's why it's considered as an ideological war. So here I have mentioned another point, that's the emergence of two power blocks. Now what is this emergence of two power blocks? I have wrote a point here, and that is here. So after World War II, world which was known as which was a multipolar world, but after the end of World War II, world got converted into bipolarity. Bipolarity simply means it's a situation, it's a time when world was dominated by the two superpowers. By means simply two. So it was a situation, it was a time when world was dominated by two power blocks. One was USA and another was the USR. So this was about the emergence of bipolarity, which emerged immediately after the end of World War II. One more point you can note down here, and that is by the end of bipolarity, by the end of Cold War, because of the disintegration of USR, world which was known as a bipolar world got converted into a unipolar world, which simply means world was dominated by a single superpower, that was USA. सो दिस वाज अबाउट द मीनिंग ऑफ कोल्ड वार एंड अगर आपको लग रहा है कि ये वीडियो आपके लिए मुफीद है, देन यू कैन ईमेल मी सो दैट I will prepare a next lesson in which we will study the causes and consequences of Cold War and also arenas of Cold War. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon. Thank you.